It's freaking easy because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
How soon we do forget.
How we forget. But how's it going?
Going all right. How are you, Dan?
Oh, this is how we forget. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Okay. Jesus.
Yep.
How's it going?
Going all right. How are you, Dan?
Oh, this is. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Small.
Was it double? I heard like double.
It was, but now it's gone. Yeah, because I don't hear myself anymore.
Oh, that was weird. I don't know why it doubled.
Yeah.
I have so many tabs open. I was like, what tab was open? So yeah, freaking guy. That'll be part. I felt like talking about it again, even though I did a 6-minute video about it. But
I think it's good.
Yeah. So I was home, got all my videos done. So for people watching, SCH, D, and G are the next 2 days coming out. So
hooray!
And then I don't know. I might next week's probably no one cares, right? Next week it's in between.
Yeah, I'd say if you want to release some, cool. If not, not a big deal.
Maybe I might do a fitness video next week.
Yeah, like you've been pushing things out like an absolute madman. Like
some of the subjects have not been that tough to talk about.
Yeah,
things that get worked in you just thinking about it. It's in the pipeline, right?
Yeah, fair point.
I have so many tabs. I'm like confused. Okay.
All the tabs.
All the tabs are open. All right, now give me a second. You know what?
Yep.
I'm gonna switch, so I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
I don't think it'll crash. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Just me for now. Just wanted to say be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, yep. If you know that, there's a reference.
Are we still here? Okay.
Okay, all right, yeah, we're good.
I was in Firefox, and Firefox is not the best for streaming. So it works better with Chrome. But okay.
Learn something new for all the other people out there.
Yeah, Chrome is the way to go, honestly. So where do you want to start?
We could go
Nike?
I was gonna say, yeah, let's get the pain out of the way. Like we both listened to that earnings call. That was
hated. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't stand listening to Nike. I've listened to it in the past.
Yep.
I can't stand listening to the CEOs at Nike, the way they talk about just such cringy terms. They use all the politically correct terms, and then they talk about like accomplishments of their athletes, and
yes,
I want to rip my ears off when I listen to it. So
yeah, that one, like it was like you're a boxer, or like you're trained to be a boxer, and like they're like, yeah, okay, like bob and weave. It's like it was painful. It was painful.
Wait, okay. Comments before we start.
Yeah, so much.
Oh, look at this one. What does this say? Good evening, Dan. Found your channel through replies to Ryan Happy Hour stream. Very thankful. Someone else speaking out against Yield Max. Thank you very much.
Hey.
I know, like, I know people joke about Yield Max, like on Ryan. Ryan is against it. I've seen his videos, but then people crack jokes about Yield Max, and I'm like, retail is so damn confused these days. That's not something you should joke about, because there are people out there that are literally 100% of their money is in these covered call ETFs, and they're going to get screwed. It's going to be painful. So I don't really think it's that fun. I'm not going to call anyone else, just, it's not something to joke about. I mean, these things are going to hurt people. Yeah. Someone's going to dump their life savings as it just deteriorates, and then they're going to sell it at a huge loss. And then Uncle Sam's going to freaking come for a non-qualified dividend tax treatment, and you're not going to see it coming. because these people don't understand pretty much anything about investing. So, 50 grand in friggin' Tesla dividends from my 200 grand that I scraped together with loans. It's like, oh, you screwed.
Yeah.
But so anyways, thank you. I've been in Ryan's Discord for some time now. Probably longer than I think before Fabio. So
Hey.
Dan, use OBS. I'll help you out. No, Chris told me to use OBS. I know I should. I know it's probably better. I don't know. I pay for StreamYard, so might as well get my money out of it.
This
So
is a fair point.
yield maxers are for young investors think they can beat their total return. Yeah.
Uh,
It's really a shame. I'm all for like a dividend. Like I'm all for the dividend snowball. I'm like, but yield max is not a dividend snowball.
yeah.
It has to be growing. Otherwise, there's no
Mhm.
snowball.
Yes.
And they don't see it. And they think like reinvesting the dividend, they think it's just perfectly normal to reinvest all their dividend or distributions. It's not a dividend really.
Mhm.
Back like the guy that runs ETF tells you to. It's like, okay, if you bought those shares last like January when it started, Tesla, they were paying like $1 per share for dividend distributions. Now they're paying like 50, 60 cents. So every time you reinvest, you're losing and losing and losing. And they can't see it. So I'm sure I'll revisit it again. I'll revisit it more.
Oh,
So,
I'm sure you will.
but they've
I'm
already
sure.
moved on. They've already moved from Tesla to Coney. This is what I thought they were going to do. And then once Coney starts to drop, because it can't run, it had a crazy rip. It can't keep doing that. Yield Max will put out the next one, and they'll just like good little lap dogs. They'll march over to the next one, and the whole time they're just losing money. Well, they're going to tell you they're killing it. They can't understand what's going on, but so
That's
anyways,
rough, though.
man, I get it. So what did you think of Nike? Are you in?
Not in Nike. I'm in, loosely speaking, one of their competitors, but this earnings call was a pain to listen to.
I will say, like when they
Mhm.
dropped to $80,
Yes.
like a year ago, I was like right on the. I'm like, that's cheap, and I was like right about to pull the trigger, and then I'm like, I don't really care for apparel companies for the most part. It's not really that interesting to me. And then it ripped to like 100 like a month later. So it's not like the hugest gain in the world, but
But
whatever.
mhm.
I would have to say for this thing to be a buy for me, it's got to go through a way more pain because it's like I really don't want to. There's a price in my mind roughly of what I would pay for it. We're not there yet. I just see a company that like has very limited growth potential at this point in the world. I just don't see like where's other than like 1%, like their revenue grew 1% year on year in this earnings call. Like what the hell are you buying? Okay. Like I don't know. But good things, margins are improving.
Mhm.
So they took a hit last year intentionally, is what they were explaining. They tried to clear out inventory because I had talked about that, I think, on exit liquidity before. They had a huge glut of inventory, so they had to make a choice: take the pain, get rid of the inventory. You saw that big revenue dip. So, and then they were making a rebound this year, and now they're guiding. I think the reason they got revenue sucked honestly for this earnings, and then I think they guided down forward guidance.
Yes.
So, but I mean, there's some good things you can see, like their margins. Margins went up, upticked.
Mhm.
So, net income, okay, positive direction. Working their way towards better profitability. Like this is such a tough sell in my brain. Like it's okay not to want to buy certain companies. Like there's certain types of businesses I just don't really care to own, but maybe someone out there wants. I mean, what's nice about Nike is there's no like intangible assets. They don't have like huge goodwill costs because they don't do what would Nike acquire, right? They would only acquire something like put it out of business at this point. So I don't really see why they would do that. Their debt is very manageable. I'm not even going to look at the notes. It's very manageable. It's just a matter of do you want to be in the apparel business? It's beyond the numbers. Like this is one of those investments that's like beyond what looking at like their balance sheet and cash flow. It's like, do you want to be in the apparel business? Because then you got to keep up to date. Nike's one of those brands that's been popular. The surveys, you can see that they've retained that brand popularity, which is tough, but I don't know. It would need to suffer more for me to think about it. It's kind of like Disney in my brain. Like, I need more pain than this. So what do you think of Nike?
I would
Or
agree.
disagree?
I would say the premium has been somewhat eroded, but like if you were to go full value bias, full value tilt, you'd say, eh, still has a premium,
Mhm.
and probably has that premium for a reason because, like you said, as far as brand strength goes within this space, it is basically the top dog.
You can see here the regional. So with
Oh
with
yeah,
these apparel companies, you want to look here.
yep.
So we've got, let's see the change. The currency kind of screws things up. I mean, North America, that's not great. Down
No,
5% footwear,
yes.
which is interesting because Decker has had a killer year this year.
Mm.
So I'm thinking Hoka definitely bled off some of Nike's business. So we can look at Decker, which would have been a good social arb investment this year, which I thought about it for a little while because Hokas are great. I
Mm.
have Hokas, my wife has Hokas. Great shoes. They've had a tear this year, 78%. So you have to believe that Decker has taken some of Nike's business at this point, looking at what they're showing.
Yeah, I
Where'd it
wouldn't
go?
be
There it is.
surprised if that were the case. Yeah.
So I mean, you know, they have some positives and some negatives. There's not really a trend in any direction. China apparel, that's good, not
Mhm.
bad. Footwear in Asia, okay. I mean, it's kind of concerning. So, if you got some erosion of their US business, so
Yeah.
to see, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of meh.
Hmm.
I can see why they got clapped a bit today, or was it yesterday? I think. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say not for me. I fully agree with you. If you send more pain Nike's way, even though I own a loosely defined competitor, hey, I might plow into Nike if the price is compelling enough because this company is one of those prestigious ones. Uh, Granted, yes, so this is apparel, this is footwear at the end of the
The,
day,
the
but
one thing I know they said in the call, in the earnings call, they said I think it was their direct sales business was up 6%. I might be
mm,
wrong. I don't have it right now, but
yeah,
maybe it was
I
here.
I thought they said that their e-com or their web store like took a bit of a hit also, but I
Okay.
can't remember if they like had that like geography specific or if it was like worldwide.
Because I know they really want to push to direct sale online.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah,
want to have to go through Foot Locker. And I remember this from before. They only came back like begrudgingly to Foot Locker because they needed somewhere to get, they had all this inventory. So
yes,
it's like you can't have this glut of inventory and then at the same time you're cutting off your in-store sales for direct sales. It's like, no,
yep,
the priority is just get the inventory out for
yep,
now. But now that the inventory's dropped a bit, I still think in the end they don't want to sell. Like this is also talking about like Foot Locker or something. It's like they can direct sale this stuff. Like
mhm,
Adidas, Reebok, Nike. They don't need these apparel stores in the malls anymore. I'd be concerned owning those companies because I think they're going to be in for a rough experience. They have to like pivot to like an experiential type of a store. I
mm,
think
I
that would
agree.
kind of lean into like the culture of like the shoe culture.
I
That's the
agree.
only way I see like Foot Locker type stores survive.
Yeah.
But
How that looks, I have no idea, but broad strokes, though, I agree.
yeah, does Nike try that also?
Mm,
They have like Nike outlets. I've
yes.
been to one of them. They have Nike outlets, but I'm talking about like a higher end business. I don't know. I don't know if that would be more appealing to me for Nike because now you've got stores and you got to maintain those, and that's a
Mhm.
whole different um freaking
Yes.
monster. So yeah, inventories for Nike were 8 billion, down 14%. So that was good because that was a concern last time I looked. Yeah, I don't know. This is a rough it's a tough business. Like you can be the popular shoe and then gone. You know, Hoka's and other stuff comes around. Let's say I think On shoes are the ones taking share from Nike. I don't have those. I don't think I know anybody that's taken those or has those shoes. My beginner investment, I bought Under Armour and sold it. Never touched apparel companies again. It's tough. Yeah, they're so tough.
I do have commentary on Under Armour specifically, depending on when Lincoln got in. I don't know if we want to get in. Okay, yeah. So Under Armour, their like founder CEO at the time, like way back when. I don't know when you got into there, Lincoln, but he was quite a character. Tried to push some interesting stories with that company, and you know the share price, if you look at like a max chart, definitely reflects that. Going from saying Under Armour is a tech company, we got all these different tech aspects to our company, and it was a wild ride. It was a wild ride. I can definitely respect that, and I hope you didn't endure too much pain. But
this was the part I was looking at.
Yes,
Nike
yeah,
direct sales
definitely.
were up 6%.
Yep.
Nike digital brand sales up 4%. So that's good. No, nothing here is blowing your socks. This is
No.
this is a worldwide company. Like there ain't much like where else do you think their days of double digit growth? I don't know. Seem in the past.
Yeah.
What country doesn't have Nike at this point? So
Pretty questionable, yeah. Yeah, like
I know some people won't invest in them because of child labor,
mhm.
quandaries about how they produce this stuff and kind of sketchy human rights issues. So hey, if that more power to you if that's how you feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would need. I don't really want to own this company, so I guess I'd need way more discount.
Same.
Last time when it was $80, like a year and a half ago, it was on the verge of where I wanted to get into it. We're there, so I'm still probably honestly about there. It'd have to go down at least in the 70s, I think. So even then, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, if it drops down that low, then something really bad has happened to it. Odds
Wait,
are.
what are these On shoes? Okay, have I seen these On shoes? Is this a British company, right?
Possibly. Not sure.
Man. Shoes.
Because last I remember, they were running shoes primarily.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear these. I know I've heard of the brand though.
Yeah, I was gonna say the logo is what
Yeah.
you know,
I've never seen these before.
like I've seen around.
A lot of Hoka's in my area. Big time Hoka's. All the running stores have Hoka's. Dick's. Half of Dick's is Hoka's now, I swear to. Used to be one little turnstile. Now it's like a whole wall. So could have been a good social arb investment this year, actually. So there's that. We will kill Nike. There you go.
I believe
Kind of funny they had earnings come out right before Christmas. I'm like, it seems like a bad like that. They're only doing that to when they know the news is bad, but maybe that's just me.
I believe Allbirds is still barely exists as a stock.
Oh, the grandpa's shoe store. That's for old people.
Out.
Well, you guys think Reeboks are for old people, which friggin' I don't understand personally. I think Reeboks are just fine. You freaking weirdos.
Yeah, fair disclosure.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. That is hilarious. Puma is traded as well. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there's a lot of
on. I see Hoka's and Ons. Okay.
Yeah.
I see more Ons. Maybe it's a West Coast thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll talk about this briefly. I already covered this. So should I play the clip again? I guess
yeah, why not? Yeah. I say
do it live.
Do it live.
I'll write it.
Do it live.
Why stocks collapse. So this was okay. Meet Kevin had a live stream 2 days ago now. So this is his part about Costco. So for anyone that didn't watch that 6-minute video I posted.
Okay, I want to be very clear about that. I just think temporarily the stock market has gotten way ahead of itself on this one's valuation. So that's one that I'm paying attention to. I actually like this a little bit more then I like the dollar short. The dollar short is an option, but it's this is not a long-term. You can't short Costco for the very long term. I think it's a trade. So it's a trade for me. It's probably a 1 to 2 quarter trade. So if I could get through I get through this dividend, and then I get through 2 quarters of Costco, I think I get my correction in Costco. No guarantees. My thesis. I think it's the 28th. You can see it on eHack. Just Command F in January. Also Command F. Is Costco potentially a hedge to the downside for investors? I potentially think it could be. So I'm short Costco. I increased my short on Costco today. I think that you're going to see more pressure for earnings at companies like a Costco, despite the fact that I think they're a great company and I love them. Okay, I want to be very clear about that. I just think
Bacon,
Yes.
we're shorting Costco. You know why?
Why?
Valuation. It's too expensive. I meet Kevin. I'm gonna take all of it because I'm a great investor.
I don't get it.
I
don't
never
get it.
screw up timing the market. My knowledge is so superior to you because I have a jet. Oh my god, this guy. So
Oh, jeez.
it's just like, so I have to clarify because I know when this goes wrong, he's gonna say that it wasn't based on valuation. He'll just lie, or he'll delete this. So
Yes.
he'll never learn. He's making the same mistakes he did when he was timing the market in 2021-22 and got his cheeks clapped then. He's going to do it again. It's just hilarious. It's almost the same scenario. He's doing all these FUD videos, doom and gloom. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. I'm waiting for it. He's going to like sell half of his portfolio and he's going to dump it into like silver or some crazy shit and short in Costco. Like, I can't wait. So he's learned nothing. So
You
Like-
know who should really hate this guy?
And people are going to say, "Oh, he's hedging, so you don't understand." I'm like, okay, if he's hedging the market, he didn't say what he was hedging, so we have to assume S&P 500. I don't know. So he's hedging the S&P 500, but you pick Costco. You could have picked another stock. So surely you must have some correlation to say that, is Costco a high beta stock? Like, is it going to drop faster than the market? Like, where are you going with this? The other thing is like, why do you need to hedge?
Yes.
Why do you need to hedge? Hedging is for people that can't handle the volatility of the markets, like
Yes.
trust funds, my pension, the state pension. They have obligations. They can't handle 30, 40% corrections. So they have hedges, right? Like retail investors, what do you need a hedge for other than making entertainment? That's all Kevin. It's entertainment. Like Kevin, for people like if you weren't around during the Meet Kevin calamity, I have another video you can go watch. But Kevin doesn't make money investing. I'm telling you, he doesn't make money. He sells courses and he gets revenue from YouTube. So he's like a dancing circus bear and he just collects money other ways. So freaking hedging. Like, okay, I don't even want to get into how you should hedge. Like, I don't hedge. It's freaking stupid. There's no reason to hedge as a retail trader or retail investor. I don't understand. Just buy things that you can hold for long periods of time where you don't have to worry about them going like, destruction. Like just buy things that you can hold. Like you don't need to freaking hedge your portfolio. People are so concerned about loss. It's just a human thing, right? People can't handle loss.
Yes.
So that's kind of why people see when I do SCHD and G. So part of my point about those two funds and why wouldn't you just buy like something VTI? Just buy VTI. It's every stock. But I'm like, if you buy like a growth and a dividend fund, one of them is usually should be doing well, ideally. Like, who knows? But that'll keep you in the green on something. And hopefully that keeps you from making a fucking big mistake and selling out and freaking out. Like, sure, there was growth investors that sold out last year, like, Sasha selling Palantir, like stuff like that, like clowns. But and then you miss out. So it's more about people, really. So
I just if I were Fabio, I would hate this man because if he continues to short, like adds to the short.
I've never thought about short or hedging in my whole life. Never thought. when I get a little older and I can't handle volatility, I will start drifting into other things like cash assets. Like
Yeah.
I've already taken some money off the table now because I do recognize the market's been on a tear, so I've taken some money off the table, mostly to buy a house or an apartment potentially, but that's not a hedge though.
No,
So
no.
it's an intentional plan. I'm not trying to like squeeze every last bit of profit out of the friggin' market. So
Yeah.
I'm just staying in the game. I'm not trying to make any rash decisions. This hedging garbage, it irks me. So I don't know. Like this was a hedging strategy. This thing.
Yeah.
So the idea of this fund. Oh, I'm not sharing
yeah,
it.
not seeing it. Yeah.
Give me a second. Sorry.
All good. All good.
So this fund had hedging or puts. It had protective puts. So when this came out, it had like covered call for income and it had protective puts. And this came out a while ago during COVID. So that was, and I had said on Reddit that this is just a marketing tool. It's all it is. I don't even know if they still have it here. Oh, they've changed the website. Interesting. I don't see it. Yeah, this was the whole shtick. So,
yes. Yep.
you create covered call, you get income generation, and then we have protected puts. So protection downside, blah blah. Like it's so perfect. And then it just got wrecked. Like if I was to compare this thing. So what was it? It's NASDAQ 100.
Yep. Good old Qs.
I mean, like, what downside have you protected yourself against? Because it represents the NASDAQ 100. That's what it says. Okay, here's the NASDAQ 100. What downside have you protected yourself against? This fucking stuff kills me. It just kills me. People, they sell these things because you buy them. Like they sell it because you don't need downside protection. You want downside protection? I mean, just pull your money out of the market. You would have been better just stuffing your money in a mattress than taking this downside protection shit. And I wrote this on Reddit and on Dividend Reddit, I think it was, NR stocks. And everyone called me a clown and said, you don't understand, you don't understand downside protection. Well, I'm like, it's all a marketing ploy. And they deleted my freaking post. And then here we are, a bunch of trash. You're paying a higher expense ratio to underperform. Again, it's this trend with people in ETFs. You are paying higher fees to underperform. Drives me nuts.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's what you're missing out on, the downside of not paying someone's expense fee.
Like the hedging shit. Oh my God. And then I'm like, he's just a dancing bear. I don't know what else to say about Kevin at this point. And someone said, oh, it's only 25 grand. Okay, why is he doing it then? So if he has millions of dollars, why is he doing this other than for entertainment purposes? So why are you taking him seriously? Clearly doesn't give a shit. He's doing this for fun. So, but do you have millions of dollars to throw 25K? Someone said 25K he did on this. Like, does anyone else, do you really need to do short Costco 25K to protect your portfolio? Like, waste your time. So
would have been better off if he said this was a trade, not a hedge. But
he also may be getting money from House Hack. I don't know. I heard that his public offering to what do you call it? The fancy investors.
Sophisticated investors or accredited.
The accredited investor. I heard he tried to do a regular offering to the public. And I heard it didn't go well. So he pulled it. Yeah. Well, I don't want to call people monkeys. So. It's a white man. We'll stick with the dancing bear. We'll call him a circus dancing bear. Because that's all he is. He's up there performing. And he doesn't make money actually doing this. He just gets course fees. I don't know how people still understand. I mean, he looks the part, right? He's got the nice studio. He's got a Bloomberg terminal. He knows how to present and smile. Like, people laugh, but people like him practice smiling. I'm telling you, he probably looks in a mirror and practices his face, just like SBF did. Guaranteed. So, but YouTubers don't actually hedge; they just short random. That's the thing. It's like, okay, I mean, we don't have more information because he just rambled on. Like, so we don't even know what he's technically hedging. I mean, but yeah, it's just if it was the S&P 500, then okay, why Costco? Because he says in the video it's because of the valuation. He's shorting it because of valuation. I'm like, well, that's hedging would be something that's got a correlation to the S&P 500 as far as market movement. Not that. So you're just straight up shorting Costco then if you're doing it on valuation, which is one of the best companies you could argue in the country right now. The way they're run, bright future, rock solid balance sheet, growth. Their Asian growth potential, from what I read, like really good potential. The problem with them is just the real estate, is from what I understand. The places that they're in very high demand it's a lot of land that you need for these huge buildings in places like Japan and South Korea. So, but that's a good problem to have, right? I mean, never forget calls on Estow to hedge Tesla from
Oh yeah.
Estow.
Oh god.
Estow. Or putting out and max your savings and beat the hedgies at a 2 to 6% rate. Oh yeah, you're really beating the hedgies with that 2-6%. Oh, they're scared. He's a circus bear driving a tiny car with a propeller cap.
There's a great mental image.
He's using legal terminal. I think I heard him say that in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
Bro, if Dan hires me to pimp his studio, I can. Oh yeah, you don't like my decor? I did all this.
I think it's great decor. I think
So that's a map of That's a map of Lake George, and then my favorite painting. What else? Dogs playing poker. Come on.
Yep. Got the classic chair in the background.
Maybe I'll switch it around though for New Year's. I'll change it up. I don't know. That's my favorite plant. I've had that plant for like 10 years. So
I don't think you need to. The dog makes a good cameo every now and again.
That's what I would like. I don't hedge, but like that's what I would say. What Michael said. Why doesn't he short Berkshire if he's shorting? I don't know. You could make an argument that kind of makes more sense logically if you have a huge position in the market. It's all terrible, honestly. Where's Dogo Weston? They're sleeping with mom, sleeping next to mom right now. Sleeping with mom. Jesus. Oh my god. Yeah. My Weimaraner follows me all day, so it's good. But I'm saying that people only like Irving call it that professional studio. That's why I got to work on my lighting, though. I know that's what I got to work on. I got to figure out because, like, I have a spotlight, but when I turn the spotlight on, I get it's better for like the video. But then it's a fucking LED light in my face. I can't do it. So I should probably get the cover, I guess, to disperse the light a bit. I don't know, but so I might work on that. Something to think about. If he's shorting evaluation, why does he short?
Andrew, what have you done?
I was gonna say, why stop there? Why don't you short Nvidia if you're gonna short on valuation to hedge yourself? Ooh, you imagine if he got to that point, full circle. Me, Kevin's shorting fucking Nvidia like Paul. These guys, like, you're shorting like the unicorn companies in America. Like these are like, why are they? They're overvalued. I'm like, these are beautiful, amazing companies. Like Nvidia, fucking Costco. I can't. Microsoft. Like they are different. Like not every company is the same. These are special companies. I would say AMD is a special company too, honestly, but that's my opinion. So, didn't he do a short on Ark in the? I honestly don't. I don't watch Meet Kevin unless I see clips that piss me off, and then off we go. So,
to the races.
Anyways, Dancing Bear. So,
that guy.
Okay,
that guy.
Should we talk about China?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Good old Tencent and China.
Okay.
Yeah, go from annoying one fan base to another fan base.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. I know stereotypically people that like to think themselves as growth or innovative investors will be like, my Tesla, my Nvidia, and value
Ooh,
people. Value
who
people.
wrote this? What is this? So,
Uh-oh.
oh man. So everyone, go read this. Value investing. I think there's general misunderstanding of how Chinese companies work, and I'll never buy one. So it's on Value Investing Reddit.
Yep.
So go read it.
Yes.
I encourage you.
Yeah, that
Other than
username
that,
looks familiar.
it does look very familiar.
Yeah, that person might be going places. I don't know.
So China announces rules to reduce video game spending. Oh, Chinese, you guys are clowns. Chinese companies are so undervalued right now. Why wouldn't you buy Baba and Tencent and JD? I did my fancy DCF and it said that compared to Microsoft, they're severely undervalued. So what do you think of that?
Oh man, like I I get okay. So if you were going to go full value Kool-Aid, you'd be like, oh well, this just confirms markets are irrational and people are irrational because gaming is only such small money and this is such a small thing. Blah 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 blah. But realistically, no, it's not. It's not the news in and of itself. It's what the news in this case represents, and it could be larger concerns, which are reasonable given the environment that we've been in for some time, which is why these companies trade quote unquote dirt cheap. Some might say that. I'd say rightfully cheap.
Yeah. So Chinese regulators just decide how
Mhm.
much internet the
Yes.
kids get in China. They just
Yeah.
set rules and say you're only going to get 2 hours a day of gaming, and that's all you get.
Yep.
So, and that to value a Chinese company like an American company, like this is absurd. Can the American government tell me I only get 3 hours a day on the internet or my children? No, absolutely not. Nobody can tell me how much I want to use. I can use the internet however much I want, and so can my
Mhm.
kids. Well,
Yeah.
pending me, but China, the Chinese government tells them how much internet they can use,
Yes.
and because they're restricting the amount of time these kids can spend in games. Because
Mhm.
apparently it's a huge problem over there.
Yep.
The gaming
time-
cafes, I know
Yep.
that part. That there's people over there that just spend days and days. I don't know if you know more about that than I do. I've seen like YouTube videos about it, but it seems worse than here. Because we don't have like internet cafes in America. We used to have them,
Yes, we
not so
did.
much
We
now.
used to- Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not only that though, but also like the spending cap too, because like think about it as a reasonable investor. Okay, they just hit gaming. What if they hit, say, the e-commerce and say, "Oh, our citizenry are buying too much consumerism junk. We should cap how much people spend on e-commerce." Like it's not that big of a jump because this has come into effect. This is like we're now in the same realm, like the same ballpark. Like I don't know. Uh, Too much value Kool-Aid even for me.
This is like, so I never knew. I'll admit, I'm not going to pretend I did. I didn't know all the ins and outs of VIEs with China like
Mhm.
years ago. I've never owned a Chinese stock, but I did know I don't support communism. Number one, as a U.S. as a veteran, I don't support communism. I will never, and I'm not going to give any money to a communist company. Which now I know more understanding of. There is no separation. These people don't understand. That's the other part. There is no like you can say the US government we're similar, but we're not. The US government is not can't force companies do this without like court, filings and then
Yeah.
appeal after appeal, shit
Mhm.
like that. China, there's no separation. Like
Yeah.
the government is the company. Like there's not a separation. Like their money is their money, their corporate policy is whatever the CCP lets them do. It's just like, why are you investing in this as an American? That's really what I don't understand why you would buy these as an American, other than you don't fucking know what you're doing. There's an explanation. Or you don't care. So either you understand and don't care.
Yeah.
Maybe you like to gamble. So hey, sometimes you like to gamble. I mean, you don't own the company. Like, and we'll keep saying it, and people like Andrew can defend. We can all keep saying it because people out there don't understand. They laugh at you. They will literally do a DCF model of Baba, and they'll compare it to Amazon, and then they'll go on Reddit and tell you that Baba is severely undervalued. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Paul, I asked Paul on a live stream once, or I've done it a few times because I like to bust his chops, but I was like, what discount for the risk of China do you take? And he said he just adjusts his discount rate in his model. No, he doesn't.
Not what it's.
No, he
that's
doesn't.
not what it's
I
for.
guarantee you
That's
he
not what
does
it's
not.
for. Yeah.
How much are you discounting it?
Yeah.
How much do you discount an asset that you don't own, you have no rights to, and the government of that country, which you have no rights to those stocks, can just take the money from you and you have no rights to it? Like, how are you discounting that? Please tell me.
Yeah.
Because the answer to me is zero. It is all zero. It's worthless. So, go have fun with that, people. So here, like the gaming thing, same thing. They can just tell these companies to operate however they feel. No courts. They just set out guidelines, and these companies do it, or they, they disappear them, right? Like, what was the guy, Jack Ma?
Yeah, Jack Ma. You
don't play ball with them, they disappear you.
Yep.
You just go missing. So this will be fun, but yeah. So have fun owning Tencent that got its cheeks clapped, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm sure. Oh, it'll rebound. It's fine. If it goes back to, if it rebounds, they'll be like, oh, see, it's no big problem." You say whatever you want. The whole thing's worthless. So I don't think people investing in America should not own these things. You just shouldn't. I don't understand. If you want to own, okay, what do you want to own? A Chinese ETF? It still doesn't change your problem. I tell every time, this is the best description that I've seen. So the Crane Share summary prospectus for this one. Crane Share CSI. So this is like and then go look at VIE. So I can pull it up right now because they don't believe you. So we can, this one's very well written. That's why I always like to point to this one. So you can go right here, special considerations for China. For special purposes of raising cash offshore outside of China, including US, many Chinese operating companies are structured in VIE entities. In this structure, the Chinese-based operation company is a VIE and establishes an entity offshore in a foreign jurisdiction such as we say, the Cayman Islands. Okay, there you go. It's hard to find this in the filings of like Baba.
Yeah.
They bury it very well. The ETFs of China, it's much easier for you to find this and for these disclaimers for people. Okay. So the offshore entity lists foreign exchanges, enters in contractual arrangement with the VIE. So like the Chinese company establishes a relationship with the holding company in the, whatever island. So kind of similar to Dutch Bros, except, well, Dutch Bros, you own the stock. That's the difference. Yeah. You own the stock and you do have an economic right to the business.
Yes.
Okay. And then this structure allows Chinese companies in which the government restricts foreign ownership to raise capital from foreign investors, while the offshore entity has no equity ownership of the VIE. These contractual arrangements permit the offshore entity to consolidate the VIE's financial statements for their own accounting purposes. So they can just make up numbers. It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
If
you're telling me, I'm an auditor, like you're telling me, oh, the Chinese government has an agreement to let auditors come in and review the books of these Chinese companies. They don't get to see what they want to see. I'm telling you that. Give me a break. They're not getting proper accounting. No. Where else? So the Chinese-based operating company through the contractual agreement has no ownership in the Chinese-based operating company. Furthermore, because the offshore entity has specific rights provided through these service agreements with the VIE, its abilities to control the activities of the Chinese-based operation are limited, and the operating company may engage in activities that negatively impact investment value. Why would anyone buy a Chinese anything investment wise? While VIE structure is widely adopted, it's not formally recognized under Chinese law. It's not even recognized in Chinese law. How about that? And therefore, the risk is that the Chinese government could prohibit the existence of such structures or negatively impact the VIE contractual arrangement. So in layman's terms, people, the Chinese government do whatever they want. They don't care. So they haven't destroyed these VIEs because you guys give them freaking money. So, but they can blow these things up any day they want. Okay. If these contracts are found to be unenforceable under Chinese law, investors in these listed offshore entities, such as the fund, may suffer significant losses with little or no recourse available. You have no recourse. You're not a Chinese citizen. You have no recourse. You don't have any rights to those stocks. It doesn't matter if you own them through an ETF. It doesn't matter. You have no rights to own them. You have no ownership. If the Chinese government determines the agreement establishes a VIE structure to not comply with Chinese law regulations, including those related to restrictions to foreign ownership, it could be subject to Chinese-based penalty. Okay, so there you go. Go read that. Go show anybody you know that buys Chinese stocks to read that and tell me that they're like, yeah, man, I'm not worried. No, this is what they'll say. The Chinese government would never do that because they need your money. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They could do it. Like,
Mhm.
so there is a chance they could do this. Like, did you think Russia was going to invade Ukraine before they did it? Like, to say this couldn't happen. Okay, lots of shit happens that you don't expect. Like, crazy. You guys are nuts. If you own Chinese investments of any sort, you're nuts. I don't think you understand what you just don't know. Or you feel like this doesn't matter. I don't know. You don't own anything. I mean, go buy a shit coin. At least, I don't know. At least you own that fake crypto. You physically own it.
Yeah, you may get rug pulled along the way, but at least it's in your wallet.
It's in your wallet until some hacker steals it
Yeah.
from you, but so be it. I mean, do what you want. Like to invest internationally, but not China. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Dan's shirt isn't made in China. I fully believe his words. I think this is from Vietnam.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think mine.
I think
is as
Yellow
well.
Bean does Vietnam. I don't know. Are the Chinese VIEs in VT? See, I don't know how VT
Vanguard,
owns
yeah.
the Chinese. I don't know.
Yeah, ultimately,
So I don't want to say any. I don't know.
Mhm.
They do have Chinese stocks in VT, so I'm not sure how they own them. It doesn't change what I said though. If I had to choose which communist country, I'd rather live in Vietnam. The most common pushback I get on Reddit was that any government could screw you out of your investment. That's so not true though.
Yeah.
How could the US government take your shares of like SPY? Like people here? Like how? The only way they could take it is like conceivably like you declare bankruptcy or have some sort of asset seizure.
Yes.
But then there's
Yeah,
guess
it's-
what? Even in that, there's a court proceeding and you get to be
Mhm.
represented by a lawyer, and then you
Yes.
can appeal the freaking decisions at the end.
Yes.
Like, do you understand? Like, we're a nation of laws. You can't just blow up our laws. That's why we're special. That's why America is special. That's why we have the best stock market with most of the market cap of the world. Like, we are a nation of laws. There's a lot of countries where like the government can just throw the laws out the window and nobody can do a damn thing about it. We've seen a few examples of that recently. The Mexican government just completely changes airport regulations, because they felt like it. You had Venezuela years ago seized oil assets from ConocoPhillips because they just did. Like, China can do whatever they want. So yeah, there's lots of countries that are shitty like this. Russia just takes whatever they want. So they just seized all the Western assets when they went into Ukraine. So
Oh yeah.
so as
Some
the
people.
European companies left, they just took it all. It's all theirs now. So he's calling you out.
Oh no, Ryu.
I mean, I don't want to buy Chinese communist assets. So it's a very, very small portion of VT.
Yeah, odds are it's probably if it's
like
in there. Yeah, it's
tiny
probably small.
portion.
Yeah.
It's a really weird argument because one, it wasn't my point, and two, this isn't the government longest track record. Yeah.
No, very fair.
Mm-hmm. See, I
Hey,
Chinese
yeah.
VAs.
Wonder why.
Like I said, we're talking specifically about these. I mean, there might be some other vehicle outside. I don't know. So there's that. So have fun owning video game companies in China.
Yeah, because it may seem silly to quibble over this, but as an investor, you own something, and ownership entails at least you being a little aware of legalities, legal proceedings, and structures and due
And
process.
again, like, you should own an economic and a voting interest in
Yes.
the businesses you invest in. For people
Yes.
watching this, both. I wouldn't buy Dutch Bros because
Mhm.
I don't feel like I'm getting a voting share. I'm just buying an economic share of that business the way they're structured.
Mhm.
I'm not interested. So, and people are like, oh, I don't care. I don't even vote when I get those freaking voting, emails from the brokerage. I'm like, but don't you want the company to care what voters think, the
Yes.
shareholders? If you don't have a say in the business, you're not represented. I mean, they could do whatever they feel like. So, like, think of what Nelson Peltz. If Nelson Peltz, or is it Nelson, right? First name?
Yeah.
Peltz.
Yeah. One says so. Yep.
Like, would Disney have pivoted so well or so quickly if Peltz wasn't there harassing them? So if you don't have an ownership voting, if you don't have that voting share, who's going to have you can't have an activist investor.
Yes.
So
Yes.
people
And
should
not
really,
all of not all of them are like scummy, corporate raiders. Like some of them have legitimately great ideas to
yeah,
turn something around, and they should
they're
be
not
done.
all Carl icons. Like
Yeah.
some of them really want to go in and restructure a business. Like, I think he wants to come in and help the business. So
Yeah.
put pressure on them is not a bad thing.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, 'cause
most places don't shake their cultures up internally, right?
Oh yeah.
Someone
yeah.
shakes a culture out externally. So I would love to see an activist investor take over Wells Fargo. I mean, I don't want to buy Wells Fargo regardless,
Same
but
here.
that company needs an activist investor shakedown, if anybody did. So there's China. All you can do is keep haranguing them.
Mhm.
How much time have we got? Oh, dang. So much going on. Gone on a crazy rant. This will be quick, I guess. Okay. So I'll show.
Mhm.
So I've been looking for housing investments for people watching. I've
Yes.
mentioned this a few times. So housing investments, I'm looking for something for next year because I think housing is going to come back. Not a housing boom, but just getting back to normal. So like this is like I read trade. I'm reading like housing trade magazines. I talk to my real estate agent. I do research here. I look at Reddit just to give like I'm just trying to suck in information for ideas at this point because I don't have a specific idea on a housing investment. So like I took a look at hopefully it comes up. So I put in the one company I like, SSD, Simpson Manufacturing, which man, it's almost $200.
Yeah. This was
Wish I
one
bought
that got
more.
away from you. Yeah.
I have some at 120s, but
Oh, okay. At least you got that.
it was $75 when I looked at it.
But ooh.
So like you can look at peers here, or I do like the ranked industries. I'm
Mhm.
just looking for companies to like pull up their tickers. So I did this. So
Yes.
I started with a company I know I like, but it's kind of overvalued. So then I started running down this list.
Mhm.
So here's what you don't get from other YouTubers. I don't think people like this is kind of, and so I'm also doing the other stuff I talked about. I ran through some of these, like I know this company, not interested. So I saw this one,
Mhm.
PGTI. So I'm like, okay, what is this? So I pull it up. And at first you're scared because you're like, oh my God, it's ran 130% this year. But I'm like, okay, so let's take a deeper look. So then I found out that they do like hurricane windows basically. So they do like very high end quality windows. Where is their website? There it is. So here I start perusing their website. I looked through, what was on Seeking Alpha, and I see, okay, this is kind of the appeal I want. I don't like commodities. I want something that's got like some sort of value with like a high end product where they could have patents and pricing power. So I'm liking what I see. Then you can go start looking at investor relations. We start pulling up presentations, which this is going to make me cry now. So I'm like looking at what they're doing. I'm like, I figure out they make like hurricane resistant windows and garage doors. And I'm like, all right, the numbers start to grow. I can see it's a growing business. Profit margins are improving, but not leaps and bounds. They're in the areas of the country I want to like look at in the south, like the Sun Belt, basically. So everything's like I like where they're located. I'm like, this is great. This is great. I'm like, I like this. And then I start to see whispers online that they're going to get bought out
Oh no.
because they already had gotten an offer for them, one offer this year.
Yeah.
They got offered like 3 billion, I think, and they turned it down. And I'm like, this is a great business looking at it from the outside for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone else is gonna, and I'm like, someone's gonna offer for it. So I'm like, I'm thinking about it and still looking, and then someone did right on me on top of it.
Oh
So they
no.
got bought out. So I got M&A'd again, Bacon. Again, I got M&A'd.
It never
So they got
ends.
bought by Masonite. So when I was looking at them, they were like $32, and then they jumped up to 40. So, God damn it. It pissed me off. So, like, investing's hard, people.
Oh yeah.
Investing's fucking hard. Like, don't let anybody online make, like, I'm just looking for something. I think there's an investment here. I have to find it though. And this was a good lead, and it's dead end now.
Yes.
So, and it's going to happen a lot.
Oh,
That's why it's, picking stock kind of a hobby. You do it because it's enjoyable, and
Mhm.
hopefully you're good at it. But that's why. So yeah, I'm bummed out. So the search continues. But like I said, non-commoditized, some sort of defensible business with something interesting about them. So, boo. But I will continue. Someone just said, that's clown show how you look. There's other ways you're trying to get ideas in the
Yes.
most time effective way. If you work full time like me, I don't sit 10 hours a day looking for, I have a full-time job. So, but like I said, you can start, trade magazines. Maybe you have friends that have certain, interests that they can share with you. Your work, you could listen to podcasts, maybe, hopefully something, perks your interest, or just plain old like this. I just pulled up a list of industrials ranked by Seeking Alpha, and I went down them for a bit. I can kind of just peruse it and see if it's something I'm interested in. 5-10 minutes of looking. You don't have to put like an hour into it. So,
Yeah.
and then we move on. So what do you think?
Oh,
Are you looking for housing investments or not?
I'm trying to look for under the radar things here and there. Like the list that you just showed fits that bill of like potentially under the radar, like not your common everyday person might know of like an Nvidia or an Amazon or something like that, but they might not necessarily think of, say, an HVAC or you know uh, elevators, escalators, or like just these types of things. And it's beautiful because like I get the reason why, say, a Costco or a Nike is like hard for them to potentially grow in the future just because they're so big, like market cap wise by the size of company. And these companies, they probably are of just the right size where they're like it's not clownish buffoonery that they're so small that it's you're worried about them dying off. But they probably have enough heft to them, but enough room to grow. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So like I think it's like a good right balance that you're looking at, and maybe some other people might find worthy of consideration themselves, if that makes sense.
Like, people don't worry yourself about this shenanigans, like
Yeah.
these ratings and stuff.
Hmm.
Don't worry about it. If you're gonna start like searching, like you need to start clicking on these and actually looking at their financials, pull up their presentation. Where
Hmm.
is their business located? Because these smaller businesses are regional, most likely,
Yeah.
which is not a consideration for something like Microsoft. Or Nike. It's global, but
Hmm.
these are regional businesses. A lot of these smaller ones.
Yeah.
And this is hard, but this is where you could make some money, I think. So,
Oh
but the hunt continues. So not everything can be as good as a carrier investment.
yeah. But I
I
will
invest
I will
based on vibes.
I will say though, for what it's worth though, if you're picking companies that either get bought out while you're researching them or get bought out like before you even select like press the buy button, you're probably on the closer to right track, especially
I
like when
mean,
things
it
are
doesn't
a
help
little.
me sleep at night, really,
Yeah.
but I guess.
But
I
at
keep
least
getting
the
companies
process.
bought out. I keep getting companies bought out, and it's pissing me off because I find amazing businesses and then someone buys
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Damn it. Like, I would have loved to own Travel Centers of America and Triton right now. I'd
Same
probably just
here.
plow money into them blindly because I love those businesses.
Yeah.
So it's a shame.
Yep.
People got to ruin it. I don't know. So
Yep.
I'm still on the hunt for housing investment ideas. So
Mhm.
Maybe just buy Simpson Manufacturing, even though it's overpriced. I don't know.
I mean,
You never know.
sometimes, yeah, like
You don't have a better idea.
Yeah,
Maybe
Walmart
that's
on its way to the top, like, for where it was, probably looked overpriced many
But to be
steps of the
fair,
way.
like I thought it was topped when it hit 170. I thought that was overpriced. Now it's 200 basically. So you can't to say that it's overpriced. Like
Mhm,
maybe it is. Maybe it runs for a little longer. But
mhm.
there's a reason why you buy good businesses.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so for
doesn't
what
help
it's
me.
worth, it
Not
just it
helping me
just,
though.
just means that your research process is good
So I don't know.
for what that's worth.
Maybe I'll look at this ACOM. We'll see.
Yeah.
So other than that, what do we have left? The Santa rally.
Oh, yeah, the joke. The joke.
An epic Santa rally. There you go. Wait, well, I want to pull up. Was it a joke or you went all in?
It
You
it
YOLO'd?
it was a joke.
I told you, I'm like, your damn Santa rally ain't happening this year. And then fucking what a rip the end of the year. So
Yeah, for people behind the scenes, like last year on a Discord, I changed my name to or username to like Bacon Memes Santa Rally, and then it was Santa Rally Dead. uh, so like this is me being like a little tongue in cheek because we both know that I try to keep macro opinions to a minimal. And Santa Rally seems like one of those macro things. So next year I'll also do the same thing. Hope everybody does great with their portfolio.
Dex
That's
says
all
you've
I
been
got.
calling Santa rallies for
That's 43
your
years.
whole
Yes.
life and my whole life. So
Yeah, I am. I am the Michael Burry of Santa Rallies. Yeah, just pull out a max chart every December. Santa Rally, Santa Rally.
I don't know. I haven't even thought this month. I've been so busy that
Yeah.
I've kind of accrued some decent amount of cash right now. I don't know. I was just looking for maybe I'll just keep going ETF. But
Yeah, I don't see
it's
why not.
okay. You keep putting your money in every week. That's all, or every 2 weeks, whatever you do.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's it.
yeah. I think so too.
It's 11. Damn.
Yeah.
So everyone out there, I should
Mhm.
have made like a Christmas outro or something. I didn't have time. So
That's fine.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do. I don't know how to do. I might not do anything next week because I think everyone's kind of in vacation mode between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
So I might not do anything till next year. I guess you have 2 videos to the next 2 days though. Coming,
Mhm.
people. So other than that, Merry Christmas, Bacon.
Yeah. Yes. Merry Christmas.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
a few days. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thanks everyone, and we will see you later. What should I play out? What do you want?
Um.
Nothing.
Uh. No. Shoot.
We can just end it.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
I can just do this.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Or just for you.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it.
There we go. Stop
Best way to
bullying
end
me,
it.
Daniel.